Right, we are live. We have Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News. McGregor, welcome, my man.
Nice one, Spartan. How's it going? How's it going, lads? Everybody in the chat, hope you're having a good evening. It's a nice day, man. Beautiful day out.
Is it? Oh, it's been lashing it down here in Newcastle.
24 degrees here, sunshine even out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh. But lucky you. Lucky you. Whereabouts in Ireland are you? You're near Dublin?
Dublin, capital city. Just in one of the suburbs, about 10 minutes from the city centre.
Oh, nice. Nice. You get many like boxing events going on over there?
No, not a whole lot. It's mostly like really low-key shows. I mean, the best fighter who's fought in Dublin recently might be Dylan McDonough. That's the guy who fought on the next gen card last year against McGoldrick on the Joe Cardina undercard.
I see. I didn't watch that event. I actually refused to watch that one because I thought that the whole event was rubbish.
Fair enough. I watched it to watch Dylan, to support the Irish lads, you know.
Yeah, of course. All right, so we've got a few subjects. Actually, if you want, can you see the chat?
I can bring it up in a minute.
Cool. If you post a link to your YouTube channel, just so people can click on it and they can go over there and pop and subscribe.
Oh yeah, if they want to.
Yeah. Well, I've got a few people in already. Celtic, what's up? Shabush, Judah, Martinson, Matthias, and Avery. And what we got? What's the shape of the Earth? Oh, crikey. I'm gonna go with square. What do you reckon? That's what I'm gonna go with. Brum's messing human cloudy.
You're going with square? Square. I think it's a parallelogram. A parallelogram.
Oh, fair enough.
Many different shapes. Yeah. It's a little because it takes a long time to go from one side to the other, depending on where you are, bottom or top.
That's true. That is very true. Oh, there you go. Somebody else said that the Earth is square as well. All right. Dino, what's up? Vinyl, EB. Avery, do you know if Dylan White versus reverse fight going to be shown in the USA? No, don't know yet. It will be. Whether it be DAZN or Showtime, don't know. Last time it was Showtime, so. Do you know? Almost a potato shape. All right, Unrivaled, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I just posted the link there.
That's okay, no worries. Okay, so we've got a few subjects to talk about today, which I want to get your reaction on. As I said to you a few minutes ago, I watched your video on the announcement for Hughie Fury for Samuel Peter. What do you think?
Yeah. Right. Look, it's hard to get behind Hughie at this stage. He fought NORAD, who, in all honesty, I had to do a lot of research on to even find one fight clip. It took me 6 hours to find actual fight footage, and that took a while. Now he's fighting Samuel Peters. What's his biggest claim to fame? Knocking down Klitschko in 2005. So maybe 14 years ago.
Or the James Toney wins, maybe, potentially.
Maybe. I mean, he hasn't been relevant in 11 years. Like, he hasn't been relevant since 2010, when he got beat back-to-back by Hellenius and Vladimir.
Yeah.
Got beat by Pulev when he tried to make a return. I think that was either 2014 or 2016. Then he went into obscurity again, comes back, and in April he fought twice, yeah? Losing to one of those was to a guy who he lost to, who was 15-6.
Yeah.
Like, and they're gonna bill it as Hughie Fury's beating a fighting against a former world champion. But, yeah, but from a different decade.
That's
like,
right.
And we're now nearly 2 decades away from that point. Like, when did Samuel Peter capture his belts? Like 2008, I think it might have been 2009. So we're moving into 2 decades away from that. 2 decades away. Like, people, there's I know somebody who watches my channel, who was born in 2006, right?
Right.
So they were 2 years old when Peters was
Bloody hell.
It's just a farce, mate. It's a farce. Like, one cousin's beating up a bum. Like I said in the video, the other's beating up a corpse. It's not good. It's really not a good look. Peters isn't in any of the sanctioning bodies' rankings. I don't understand this other than the money being thrown at him from Jeddah. Because that's what's going on here. They're trying to promote it because it's a Nigerian fighters on the card. They have an Indian, they have a Pakistan lad on the card. They've also got Povetkin from Russia will be on the card. So they're really trying to throw money at this.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Although to be fair, when Samuel Peter won the title, was it his next fight or the fight after? Vitaly Klitschko came from a 4-year retirement and defeated him for the belt.
I think it was something like that. Yeah. As soon as he fought someone of note, he lost. Like, all of his top opponents, he lost. Vitaly, Vlad, Robert Lenius, Kubrat Kulev. Like, who is his best victory, in your opinion? Because
probably James Toney, an aging James Toney.
A James Toney who was might have been older when Peters fought him than Peters is when Huey's fighting him.
That's right.
So,
That's true.
Jason Gavin beat an aging James Toney.
Yes, he did. He did. And Lucas Brown as well, didn't he?
Yeah, Lucas Brown did too.
That's it. For me, I'm not too concerned because the whole event is being billed as unsanctioned. So maybe it's an unsanctioned fight. If it is an unsanctioned fight, I don't have too much of an issue with it. But if it is a sanctioned fight, then my question is, well, Povetkin's on the card. Peter Fury said after he beat was it Chris Norad that he would like the Povetkin fight. So why not just get it on? Have they're both on the card anyway.
Well, I'd like to see him fight Povetkin, but I'd rather see him fight. I'd like to see him fight Caballel. Prove your European level. Prove your European level. Caballel's a very good fighter. He's got that win over Chisora and he beat Rudenko recently. Who is Huey Fury's best victory? Sam Sexton?
Probably.
Fred Cassie?
Fred Cassie, yeah, I thought about to say Fred Cassie probably is. Although some would say Parker, but I disagree with that personally.
Well, I'm not talking about who you think his best victory is. Who's his best victory? Like, actual victory. People can say, well, Lara got a victory over Canelo, but he doesn't in any recognized stat, Then I'll
probably have to go with, probably Fred Cassie or maybe Sexton, but to be honest, I never really rated Sexton too much, so. But
well, Fred Cassie is a journeyman himself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. For me, I wouldn't mind seeing Huey. I have no issues with him rebuilding, but I don't understand why he would vacate the British title to go fight this guy, Chris Norad, and then Sam Peter. I don't know why he didn't just go fight like Joe Joyce or Dave Allen, David Price, like these kind of guys, because at least then they are pretty decent headliners for a Channel 5 show.
They are. Or even if he fought Dave Allen, he'd be on a Sky card. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's true. Well, Mick Hennessy for the first time recently.
Okay.
Mick Hennessy for the first time since forever, really, he was actually praising Eddie Hearn after Huey Fury beat Chris Norad, saying that he'd like Huey to be on like one of his shows. It's the first time I've ever heard him say that.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the fact Hennessy doesn't really have much bookings and doesn't have many fighters and can't really sell an event now to save his life, unfortunately. He just doesn't have anything in his stable due to the monopoly of Warren and Hearn. They're getting all of the young talent coming out of the GB squad, the ones who are coming in from like Commonwealth Games and stuff like that. They're taking all of it. Who can he really get? Some ABA qualifiers and stuff like that. It's a really small pond for very small pond.
Although his son's going to be fighting on that Saudi card as well. Michael Hennessy Jr.
To his son.
Yeah.
Fair play to his son.
And I'll probably imagine, although nothing's confirmed, it'll probably be Savannah Marshall as well, I imagine.
Maybe. Is Hennessy promoting that event or is he co-promoting?
Oh, co-promoting. I forget the name of the people that's doing it. I think are they Pakistani? Who's promoting it in Saudi? I'm forgetting.
They might be. They might be.
Mm. So either way, you're picking Huey Fury to do an absolute number on Sam Peter, then, yeah?
Either a decision or a stoppage. Sam Peters is very. He's old. He's slow on his feet. Always has been. He's got that one punch power. Even now, I'd say he probably still has it. It's the last thing to leave you, but Huey will dance around him.
Yeah.
He'll dance around him.
Although there's been rumours for many years that Samuel Peter is actually a lot older than what he is, which wouldn't surprise me because he's been pro
That's true.
since
Some people don't think he's
for a hell of
38.
a
Some
long time.
people think he's 2001. Since 2001, he's been an 18-year pro. When he turned pro, he didn't look as though he was 20 years old. He looked as though he was 28. So he could be in his 40s. He could be.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Right. Let's move on to the next one then. So Eddie Hearn said earlier on, or sorry, he probably said it yesterday, but I read it earlier on, that he believes, was it either he believes or he's heard that Deontay Wilder would in fact not fight Luis Ortiz next, and they will rush forward the Tyson Fury rematch, and then Dillian White will fight the winner for the WBC mandatory. What do you think of that one?
I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it here and be right on this. I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they don't want to risk the Luis Ortiz fight now after seeing Andy Ruiz with AJ. I'm really unsure. Like, Hearn said a few things that he thinks will happen, or he says, "Oh, this is really what's going," and it hasn't happened. You know what I mean? Just to say that they're pulling one over on the fans or whatever. It's part of the promotional tactics between them all ripping each other over. You know. I'd like to see Huey Fury and Tyson. Not Huey. Tyson Fury and Deontay fight next. In all honesty, I wanted to see it right away, mate. I was over there. I went to LA. I was there. The atmosphere was amazing. It was a great fight. And I wanted to see it again. I wanted them to run it back right away. But they didn't. Huey got that ESPN deal. Fair play to him. He's making a lot of money. Not Huey. Tyson. I need to stop with the Huey thing. He's on my mind all day from the Sam Peters. Tyson, he got this ESPN deal, right? And he's doing bits, mate. How much did he get? Like £10 million for Tom Schwartz?
That's the thing. I'm not quite sure how they're working out because obviously he's got like $100 million over 5 fights. Does that mean he's getting 20 million per fight, or does it depend on who he's fighting?
It might be depending on who he's fighting. Let's say he gets 10 million here for Schwartz. And if he fights Pulev, they give him 15, 18 million maybe. And then if he fights Wilder, they might give him 30 to 35.
Yeah.
Something like what Canelo would be getting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
well, can you see Pulev taking that Tyson Fury fight?
Oh, mate, I don't know. The only time I've seen Pulev take an actual legit opponent on was when he was mandatory for Klitschko. Yeah. Other than that, Pulev seems to get shoulder injuries right before the biggest fight of his career. You know what I mean? Same thing happened a while ago with Povetkin. Apparently, he didn't think he had enough time to train, so he was overdoing his training sport, and his rotator cuff started to hurt. You know?
Right. That's the thing with Pulev. I mean, I always get the impression that, I mean, he could have fought Joshua a long time ago, even before the mandatory, but he kept turning it down. And even when he got offered, we got told that you are fighting Joshua for the mandatory. Even then, he was making up excuses about his team not informing him. He didn't know that he was meant to be fighting him next. And I'm like, what are you on, man?
Yeah, how do you not know you're fighting for a unified heavyweight championship?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we know he's supposed to be fighting, surely to God he does.
Well, I would hope so. I mean, I didn't even search for it and I found it. You know what I mean? It's not even by even going onto YouTube. Like, you open a newspaper, it's like Kuba or Pulev at the back is being ordered. And you can imagine if that's in Irish papers on the back page, that's going to be in Bulgarian papers on the front page. Pulev Joshua?
Yeah.
Man.
Exactly. Now, I think that he's just one of these guys want to do as little work as possible for the most amount of money. Because in Bulgaria, he's a pretty big deal, apparently.
Yeah. He would be a very big deal. I mean, what else do they have in Bulgaria? Dimitar Berbatov?
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. I reckon he's a good fighter now, Kubrat Pulev. He's got a good job. Like maybe what, Stilian Petrov, maybe.
Stilian Petrov, yeah, or Stoichkov, yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while, right, since they had anybody like of like real notoriety to the rest of the public. And Pulev, the boxing community, we all know who he is.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we probably know who he is because of that Klitschko fight and the fact that he beat Derek Chisora. Outside of that, do we really know him?
Well, I do, but and he's got a good looking wife as well.
Okay, I've never seen her.
Love. Yeah, she's not bad. She's not bad. But he's a decent fighter. He's got a good jab. It's just I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about him. It's like he'll fight anybody he thinks he'll win against.
Yeah.
And he won't fight anybody who he thinks is a 50-50 or a losing battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, he fought against Klitschko, and that fight's famous to me because Vladimir Klitschko jumped across the ring with a flying hook.
Yeah.
Never seen Klitschko do something like that. He went from Klitschko to Lomachenko in 2 seconds.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is a shame about Pulev because he's very, very talented and capable of beating, well, I was about to say anybody, but not anybody, but I think most he can beat. It's just, I think that Klitschko fight, he's, I don't know, taking some of his soul away, maybe. I don't know what it is.
It might have done. He was very brave before that. Like, he used to be quite aggressive, but now he's gone back to that amateur style that he has. That
defensive first. Yeah.
But we did see when he got hurt by Bogdan Dinu, he threw all balls to the wall, mate. I mean, people forget what happened in that fight, like because of the whole sushi incident. But when he was fighting against Bogdan, Bogdan cut him, and he was really cut. And Pulev just said, "I'm going to knock this guy out now," and he went full tilt and beat the crap out of him, and it was unreal. It was the best Pulev performance I've seen in forever.
Yeah.
Like I was like, whoa. Because I had Bogdan beating him up at the start, which was mad. And then Pulev just says, "I'm beating you up now." And he beat him up. Good to see. Yeah. It was good to see him show a bit of spite because he has it in him. He just doesn't use it.
I mean, do you think if Huey hadn't got that cut, do you think that Pulev would have still won?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huey, it doesn't matter about the cut. From the start of the fight, Huey was headhunting anyway.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to box. He was trying to throw big shots because I think he's buying in too much to people telling him what he needs to do rather than focusing on what he needs to do. You know what I mean? He needs to focus on what he needs to do as opposed to me or you saying, "Oh, he needs to sit on his shots more" or whatever. He should sit on his shots a little bit more, but not sit on every single shot. He ain't Wilder. He ain't Joshua. You know?
That's right.
He's a slick boxer. Use that, pop out the jab, stiffen it up, and focus on your craft.
Exactly, and maybe lift a few weights to get a bit of power. I think that
maybe.
I mean, Peter keeps talking about how he's coming into like his man strength now. I'm like, well, you know, he's heavyweight. He should probably punch hard already. But if he lifted a few weights, he might actually have a bit of power behind him. But I don't know. But I mean, either way, you're happy to see the rematch next with Wilder Fury instead of Luis Ortiz.
Well, I'd rather Fury and Wilder than Ortiz Wilder because I'd rather get Fury out of the way / Wilder so we get closer to undisputed after the Joshua Ruiz rematch than see Ortiz fight him. And then the Joshua rematch happened and then he's got 2 points from Fury.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, fair point. So obviously you talk about like undisputed. You probably heard a few days ago now that Alexander Usyk is now the WBO mandatory heavyweight.
We kind of knew this was coming, didn't we? We knew for a while, like, he was the super champion.
Yeah.
I have 2 points of view on this. And they're both polar opposite to each other. One, I think Usyk does deserve a shot at the title. Okay? Mm-hmm. Just because he's undisputed. At cruiserweight, phenomenal talent. And other fighters had that opportunity, like Dillian Whyte, who did actually turn it down for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I think, because if you turn it down, you could be in the position Andy Ruiz is in right now, you know?
Yeah.
And Usyk, he's an undisputed guy. He's pretty much earned himself a privilege in a way. But then there's the other thing. He moves ahead of other guys who've been fighting in this division for a long time,
Yeah.
who also might deserve title shots ahead of him.
Yeah.
So both of those things, I'm for both. You know, I feel like he does and he doesn't. Like, he definitely does for his achievements, but he didn't do it at heavyweight. He did it in a different division.
Yeah, that's true. Although
So that's like me. Just let me get this definition. That's like me scoring 15 goals in Eredivisie, right?
right.
And I get picked. I get picked to play for, I don't know, Man United in the Champions League, yeah?
Right.
Man United sign me. And I start ahead of somebody who's also scored 15 goals in the Premier League that season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So
That's a fair point. But I mean, would it make it a bit easier? Because obviously, Usyk, he's going to be fighting in a few months' time anyway at heavyweight. Would that be dependent on who it is that he fights as well? Would that help?
yeah, that'd help. Like, if he beats someone who I would consider to be a top 25 guy and does it comfortably, fine, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, he has beaten guys who have done well at heavyweight so far, like Michael Hunter, Maris Frieders, who beat Manuel Char. So in a way, he kind of does have a little bit of a track record with people who've been in the heavyweight division. So he does have that to his name, and you can't really fault it. It's one of these things, like, it doesn't really matter because I can't control it, you know. But in a perfect world, I would like to see him fight against one of the top 3 guys in the WBO.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Although the WBO, I mean, for me, I'm not keen on their rankings whatsoever. I think that the WBO has got one of the worst rankings out there, to be honest with you. I mean,
yeah.
You know, they had Tom Schwartz as number 2 for quite some time.
That's due to the trinket belt, isn't it? The Intercontinental. They give you like 380 points for picking that up, which is pretty much a top 5 position, whether you've won a fight or not. So if you win that debut, you go top 5.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, what about that fight with Carlos Takam? Did that interest you in the first place or not?
Of course it did. He's a heavy guy. He's strong and can hit. He's got a chin. He's going to come forward. He's going to try and get on Usyk. If he throws punches at Usyk, it'd be interesting to see how he deals with it. How he deals with a guy. See what a heavyweight thinks of his punches as well, because he's going against a guy who has legit heavyweight punch resistance.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see if Takam respects him. You know what I mean? Because he didn't show a lot of respect to AJ.
No, that's right. That's right. I mean, for me, I still want to see Usyk and Povetkin, because that fight was talked about for quite some time. But Povetkin said that since the AJ loss, he wanted a bit of a tune-up fight and then go fight Usyk.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much I give a shit about it, to be honest, anymore. I would have liked to see it like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But now we're getting to where scoring. We're coming into the middle of 2019.
Yeah.
When's this Amir Khan card taking place? July, August?
July 12th.
Right. Povetkin will have a tune up there. Usyk probably won't be fighting until August, September. Do I want to see Usyk fight Povetkin? If it's this year, okay. If it's this year. So November, December, yeah. If it's 2020, no.
Yeah.
I don't.
That makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Definitely makes sense. So what do you think? Because obviously his last fight was Gassiev. Now Gassiev is in the heavyweight division. Have you seen much of Gassiev to make a prediction as to how he will do at heavyweight?
Yeah, sure. I've seen him beat. I think it was Krzysztof Wlodarczyk. Looked good in that fight. After he beat Wlodarczyk, he had that fight of the year contender with Uniel Dorticus, which was a monstrous fight. Stunning fight. I haven't seen it. Go watch it. Beautiful fight. Guys just punch each other up for 12 rounds.
Yeah, he stopped him.
I'm saying that to everybody else.
12, wasn't it?
It was in the 12th round. It was a 12th round stoppage. Both guys just hell for leather. Gassiev, he's a good body puncher.
Yeah.
Very good body puncher. I think he'll be decent. I think he'll be decent. I'd love to see him. I think he'll get to the caliber of like maybe he might be a little bit better than Manuel Charr, but below the rest. So maybe like 18 plus. Like
Right.
I think he'd be able to handle guys like Charr and Charles Martin and stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
don't think he'll be able to handle anything above that really. I think like the likes of Kovatsky and stuff would beat him.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough.
Or Parker would beat him. Parker would probably knock him out.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. Gassiev's too open.
Mm.
He's not the best defensively, and if you're open with Joey Parker, who's bigger than you, stronger than you, and faster than you, he's going to beat you.
Parker's an excellent fighter when he's actually in the mood for it. As in, when he turns up angry and wants the knockout, he's very, very dangerous. But when he fought Joshua and when he fought Dylan White, he fought very, very negatively, which is why I think a lot of the New Zealanders just weren't too happy and were pretty much writing off Joseph Parker since then. But, I mean, I can certainly agree. I think if Parker goes back to his aggressive ways, certainly. He's not someone to be overlooked.
It's just no, definitely not. He's still young, isn't he? He's like 26 or 27.
Something like that, yeah.
He's younger than Chris Eubank Jr.
Bloody hell, yeah, he is. He is, yeah.
People need to think about Parker's relatively young. He's still got like what? He could have 7 or 8 more years, man. Realistically, I think he'll recapture a title. I don't like to say this. I think he should move trainers. I don't think Barry's good in between rounds.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people say that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. And the thing is, I mean, if a lot of people are saying it, there's got to be some truth to it, hasn't there?
Maybe. I mean, or it's just an opinion, you know. It's an opinion. I mean, who's to say we know more than Kevin Barry? I mean, keep doing the same thing when you're losing isn't really the best advice you can give a guy. Let's just say that.
But he did that with David Tua as well, didn't he? He never really changed too much about him.
No, he didn't. But maybe David Tua wasn't really the type of fighter who could change his style. Whereas you feel Parker has like 4 different styles to him. Mm-hmm. He can be slick, aggressive, defensive, and dynamic.
Yeah.
Use each of those traits. He's got like, let's do this in 5 stars, right? He's got a 4-star jab. He's got 4-star feet. He's got 4-star head movement when he uses it. He's got 4-star power. He's a 4-star fighter all across the board.
And a 5-star chin.
He just a 5-star chin with 3-star mongrel. And what I mean by mongrel, Kiwi said this a few times. The word mongrel is that dog that can get rough when you really need it to, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, I mean, I'll be wanting to see Joseph Parker against maybe the likes of, say, Luis Ortiz. I would absolutely love to see that fight. I know that Eddie Hearn's talking about making Parker versus Povetkin, which, you know, I'm pretty up for that fight too, but I feel that Parker would do a number on Ortiz. I know a lot of people won't agree with me, but you know what? That's just my opinion on it.
You'd like to see which fight, sorry?
Parker versus Ortiz.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight, but like, can I be really honest?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see Luis Ortiz win.
You don't see him fight anymore?
No, I really don't. Like, his best wins, who are they, right?
Brian Jennings,
Latif Coyote, Christian Hammer, and Burr Cooper. Burr Cooper, right? I said this last night. Burr Cooper, he was ranked in the top 10 at cruiserweight in the 1980s. Rest in peace to Burr Cooper, boy. But he was a top 10 cruiserweight in the 80s. And Ortiz fought him in 2011. I wasn't born in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. Although the other one, how the hell do you pronounce his name again?
Who? Latif Coyote?
That's him. Is he the one that Ortiz? That's it. That's the one. I was about to say, was that the one where Ortiz first failed a PD test?
Yes, that is the one, Sparta. Good bad yourself.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I mean, for me, I mean, listen, if Ortiz is going to fight Wilder, just get it over with, get that payday, go home. Personally, I think he should have took the Joshua fight. Who knows? He could be unified champion right now, but
It
what it
could
is.
very well be. And I'm glad that didn't happen, because if it did, never mind people, the Wilder fans talking about Luis Ortiz.
Yeah.
Never mind them talking about Ruiz winning. Imagine Ortiz winning. Wilder beat him, so Wilder beat Jack. Oh my God.
But it would be, because Wilder fans, they see things as a cheat code of a game, like Mortal Kombat. You like Shang Tsung. You beat an opponent, you get all the souls of the previous. They don't realize that each fight has its own. You know what I mean? It's like each fight has its own merits. Otherwise, because Parker beat Ruiz and Joshua beat Parker, you would think that Joshua would beat Ruiz, right? So it is what it is.
Pretty much. I mean, their boxing logic is this simple. Vasyl Lomachenko lost to Salido, right?
Yeah.
But Salido, he lost to Cristobal Cruz. So Cristobal Cruz, he's pound for pound number one, not Lomachenko. You know what I mean?
True. That is true. That is true. That's one way of looking at it. Well, do you like that Lomachenko Campbell fight, though?
I have one problem with it. If you want to know my honest opinion, he's too good, mate. He's too good for everyone in that division. He really is a different level to the rest of them. I'm not fanboying over Loma. I don't even have him pound for pound number one, right? I have Usyk pound for pound number one. But he's on a different playing field to these guys. And that's because most of them are prospects, you know what I mean? Like Haney and Tiafimo. Like, the next best guy in that division right now for me is Richard Comey.
Yeah.
I don't think Comey lost to Easter. I had him winning that fight, and I think the Shafakov fight was a draw. So, but there's an interesting situation going on there. But the Campbell fight, he's ranked number 3 in the division according to Ring Magazine. Do I dislike the fight? No. I'd like to see it take place in the UK, as I'm sure you would too. We'd all love to go and get a field trip up to see Lomachenko at like the KC Stadium, wouldn't we?
Of course.
We'd love to see that. That'd be fantastic for the city of Hull as well, to have a fighter like Lomachenko race it with his presence, but it looks like that's not happening, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think they're now, where they had agreed on everything, now they haven't agreed, and it could be going to purse bid, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Which is weird, because I think that ever since Eddie Hearn announced his DAZN deal with all these billions and millions, whatever it is that he's talking about, he hasn't won a single purse bid yet.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is weird. It's really different. Like, he has all of this money. He's lost a purse bid for Hooker against, what was the name of the guy Hooker fought? I think it began with a C.
Oh God, yeah, that was
the name's escaping me. It'll probably pop into my head. I'm sure someone in the chat might know. Oh, it's not C, it's Saucedo. Alex Saucedo. So that was after he beat Terry Flanagan. I'm not sure. Did he fight on? Has he fought on the DAZN card yet? Did he fight on the DAZN card on Les Pierre?
No, I don't think he did, actually. I don't think he did, actually.
I'm trying to remember. No, he did. Because Bivol fought against Joe Smith Jr. and Hooker was the undercard with Sergey Kuzma. 100% sure. Wait, what? Yeah, that was on the DAZN. 100% sure that was on the
DAZN. Okay. Yes, I know that he's taking on Ramirez. That's on the DAZN, isn't it?
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Right, let's have a look at. So, did you hear the news about Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman? No VADA testing, even though both of them are WBA champions, I suppose you could call them. One's super, one's regular.
WBA doesn't adhere to VADA. VADA is part of the CBP. I think the WBA is under WADA and USADA. So.
Okay, I heard that for the championship fights, they have to be enrolled in VADA. I'm sure that's what I read. I may have misread it. I could be wrong on that.
Well, maybe I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that. If you do find it, let me know. Like I'll go looking for that later as well. But yeah, I would rather see everybody adhere to VADA and
Uh-huh.
all fucking anti-doping agencies. To be perfectly honest, a clean sport's a healthy sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Like steroids and performance enhancement drugs. Not only can they, harm a fighter in the ring, they can harm your health as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, of
So
course
I'd
they can.
rather people stay safe. You know,
Definitely.
a safe sport's a good sport.
No, I agree. I mean, do you see? Because Eddie Hearn, he talks about how America has a huge drug problem. I don't know whether it is America or whether it's just the boxing world in general or just sports in general. I have no idea. But I mean, what do you know about American doping and what their regulations are? Like how often do fighters get tested, all that kind of thing?
No idea, mate. They keep it
Yeah.
hidden. They keep that
Mm,
shit wrapped up. They always have in every country. Like, let's be real. A certain point, they say that like UCAD, they do tests and stuff like that, and then you hear of like cards taking place at your call with no drug testing and stuff. You know what I mean?
mm, yeah, that's right.
So I don't know. I don't know. It's like they don't really specify much on it. I wish
I
I did
think
know.
that's the thing because they talk about UCAD quite a lot. Now, I have no issues with UCAD and their testing, but it does seem that they're not always as forthcoming as maybe a lot of people claim that they are. Like Frank Warren, he bigs them up quite a lot. Eddie Hearn bigs up UCAD quite a lot. But you only have to look at the Tyson Fury case. You see, he failed between the Derek Chisora rematch and Christian Hammer. He failed that PED test for whatever it was, for that tainted wild boar. But that didn't get released until about 2 years later.
Yeah, yeah. But they knew about that.
That's the thing. So why would they suddenly call him in for questioning 2 years later? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't
Like
make any sense to me.
it doesn't to me either. And I think WADA should have probably contacted like the boxing records and maybe even turned like that Tyson Fury and Christian Hammer fight into a no contest.
Hmm. Oh, maybe.
To be honest,
Yeah,
but it hasn't been. So
that's true actually. Yeah, because he accepted a 2 year backdated ban, didn't he?
yeah,
See, yeah. So technically, his fight and maybe the Klitschko one as well,
maybe. But like
in
you got
theory.
him backdated 2 year ban, right?
Yeah.
So when when did Tyson Fury like come back officially and fight? So Tyson Fury, I'll just go to his box rec. So he fought Sefer Safiri when 2018, right?
Yeah.
And he fought him on the 9th of June. So the Vladimir, if it was a backdated ban and he got to fight Klitschko and stuff, that was in 2015. So they can't really no contest the Klitschko. They could no contest the Klitschko thing because they could no contest Hammer and then they could no contest Vladimir, but it depends on when they wanted to have started the ban, which
Mhm.
probably would have been when Fury retired. So he never really served the ban, did he? He lived a life,
No, of
pretty
course,
much.
of course. That's the thing because I mean we all know why he accepted the 2 year ban was to just stop all the case from dragging on, and because if he accepted it, then he'd just come back in the ring straight away, couldn't he? So we know why he accepted, but officially, it's on his record as a drug cheat. Officially.
Officially, yeah, officially.
Mm.
He is a drug cheat. When people ask me, do I think if Fury goes undisputed in this division or anything like that, do I think he'll deserve to go Hall of Fame, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have a very serious thing. I don't think anyone who's been caught doing drugs should go into the Hall of Fame.
Mm. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
includes Shane Mosley, Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones Jr., James Toney.
Mhm. Well, Floyd Mayweather, that was a whole grey patch. That was. I mean, he got caught with intravenous sticking out of his arms, didn't he, or something, and they didn't report it.
Something like that. I don't
Mm.
know. I don't know, man. I'm kind of strict on all of that shit.
Yeah. I do believe that every case warrants its own investigations. I mean, for me, I think that It is entirely possible to put supplements into your body and not know. But at the same time, if you're enrolled in VADA or UCAD, whatever, you should know what it is you put into your body. In
Oh,
theory,
most definitely. Most definitely. Look, you can't be like Kid Galahad and say my brother spiked me for 2 years. You
yeah,
know? You can't be pulling you can't be pulling the Jarrell Miller, oh, it was a supplement, and then get popped for like 4,700 drugs and turn yourself into the local chemist down beside Iceland, you know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, do you believe that whole the first one he believes was tainted, that GW1516, and the other two will come from an injection, which we knew that that HGH and was it EPO, whatever it was called? I'm not an expert on
Yep.
PEDs, but I knew that they required injections, and he said that he put an injection into his elbow. Do you believe that story?
Mm-hmm. Well, if he put it into his elbow,
Yeah.
I don't know why he'd put HGH, because he put it in for pain relief, right?
Yeah.
Now, very few people in here might have had any experience with human growth hormone. I'm not afraid to admit this. I have a little bit of it in the past when I was younger. It's very painful.
Yeah.
It hurts. It hurts. For like 4 or 5 days, it causes more pain. Now, obviously, Jarrell Miller is going to say this because very few reporters are going to go out and be like, "Oh, I'm in pain. Let me inject human growth hormone into my arm to calm it down." No, it hurts you more. So if you're actually having pains, it's recommended by all like bodybuilders and stuff, like Olympians and stuff like that, like Jay Cutler and everything,
Yeah.
like Mr. Olympia and everything like that. Do not touch human growth hormone when you have muscle or bone issue, like in terms of pain, serious pain. So if he was in pain, there's no way he was injecting that. Absolutely no
Okay.
way. It would have been excruciating.
Okay, I don't know about that. Okay, that's cool. That's good to know. Oh, because Eddie Hearn, I mean, he did say that he was aware that Jaron Miller had elbow issues. But for me, I mean, one of the things that we do know about Avada is that they're on call 24 hours a day. So if you're going to do something, they're literally only a phone call away and say, right, I want to take this for my elbow. Is it okay? And you know what? They will give you the answer right there and then. So for him to have not done that is very suspect to me.
Very suspect. Also, EPO for pain relief? Nah. Doesn't do
Yeah.
anything for pain relief.
Okay. So as far as Pacquiao Thurman, because neither of them are being VADA tested. I mean, they may still be tested because according to the article for Boxing Scene, they're saying that the Nevada State Athletic Commission could still employ some kind of anti-doping agency. It just won't be VADA.
What was that?
Saying that because of Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao, they're not going to be using VADA, but the Nevada State Athletic Commission could still use anti-doping agencies. It just won't be VADA.
Okay. What agencies?
No idea. They don't know.
Are they going to use USADA?
Maybe.
Maybe USADA? I don't know. If they're not going to use, like, if they are using USADA, I actually think USADA is good because of how many UFC fighters it's caught. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
USADA's caught more than VADA has through the years, to be honest.
Okay.
The only difference with VADA is you have to sign up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's paid for. So.
But that's the thing, because that's something that I want to come on to in a minute, which we can bring it forward just for a second, that the WBC, they pay for all top 15 athletes to be enrolled into VADA. So any fighter who's eligible to be ranked in the top 15, but doesn't, for example, like Miller, because he got kicked out of the WBC rankings, the WBC are paying for it. So you have no real reason not to enroll in it.
Yeah. Unless you're on drugs or unless you are afraid of needles.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, Shakur Stevenson, he's been dropped out of the WBC rankings, right?
Yeah, that's a missed test, wasn't it? Something? Was it missed test?
No, it's not a missed test. Apparently, he hasn't signed up to the clean boxing program.
Oh, okay. Well, we know that Errol Spence Jr. has only ever signed up, was it one time? That was against Kell Brook.
Yeah.
I mean, that's dodgy.
That's dodgy. It's very dodgy, but he doesn't have to. So why would he take extra drug tests?
Yeah, that is
I
true.
mean, the more blood you give, the more it takes out you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a weird way. I mean, the amount of drug testing Joshua was saying he was on was kind of freaky.
Yeah.
What was it 30, 40 different drug tests?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a bit much.
It is a bit much. That's the thing, because it's like Joshua, for his title fights, he always insists on extra testing. So it's not like random where they may turn up in camp or they may not turn up in camp. It's a case of he insists on several drug tests throughout camp, which he pays for out of his own pocket for his opponent. Which cost him, was it £60,000 or dollars, whatever it is? It's a hell of a lot of money, whatever it is.
It is a lot of money. It's definitely a lot of money. How much did you say that he was still?
£60,000.
Per test or for the entire testing procedure?
No, for the entire camp.
Mate, I'll go get needles and do your drug tests for you. Give me the 60 grand.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll tell them whatever you want.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh yeah, as clean as a whistle. What have we got here? Testosterone, HGA. Yeah, no, it's clean as a whistle. It's an extra 2K. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, because it makes you wonder. I mean, people say how VADA are trusted and everything, but at the end of the day, everyone's human. Everyone's got bills to pay. So, I mean, I'm presuming that they don't know the results right there and then. So the people who are doing the tests, they don't see the results. They just do the test, pack them up, send them off to the lab, I'm presuming.
Yeah.
All right.
It's mad.
It is. We've got
Your
plenty of
mods are on a
channels.
roll, man. Yeah.
They are?
Yeah, they're deleting this one guy because he's saying Wilder's the best.
Well, he can't mean it. Oh, he's bloody deluded. But hey, listen, who knows? I mean, we can all look at his resume and say it's complete trash. But ultimately, by the time his career finishes, maybe he'll end up wiping out Joshua and White and Fury and whoever else. You never know, do you? Never know. Wilder.
Who might wipe out? He might. He might wipe out everybody. He can fight.
Yeah, he can.
Look, you don't do what he's done by being bad. No. He can fight.
Yeah. That's it. Or he's got that Illuminati curse or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Just at some point, he's going to land that one punch. It doesn't matter what you do to him. At some point, he's landing that punch.
Most definitely. He could land that one punch. He could definitely land that one punch.
He can. But then again, history shows you, though, that all big punches at some point end up getting chinned themselves.
All?
Well, I'm sure not all, but certainly most. I mean, if you look at the likes of, say, like, those who have huge reputations as, when people talk about them, let's say the power punch more than anything else, like Ernie Shavers, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, Ernie all these Shavers. Guys. Yeah, I mean, most of these guys at some point just can't rely on that one big punch, because at some point you're going to meet somebody where you can't land that punch, and Wilder has nearly found that opponent on a few occasions.
Yeah, it's true. Like, well, Shavers is, I think his record's like 74 wins with 68 knockouts, 14 losses with 7 losses via knockout, right? And 1 draw. He destroyed everybody coming up, right? Everybody, and then all of a sudden, his first 2 fights won by knockout, and then he had a loss via decision or something like that. Then he went on this unbelievable knockout streak of 10 fights via stoppage, and then he got stopped by a guy called Ron Stantler, right? And that was in the City Auditorium in Omaha, I believe. And he was knocking out guys constantly just knocking out guys for quite a long time. I think it was 4 or 5 years. Knocking out guys like Jimmy Young and Jimmy Ellis. And then he fought Jerry Quarry and he got stopped, you know?
Right.
So it happens. You can fight against all different types of guys and bums and like mid-tier fighters, and then all of a sudden you fight a top-tier guy and you get stopped. Like Wilder, in my opinion, he lost to Fury via decision. Okay,
Yeah.
and I think that was a cherry pick gone wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, of course it was.
The dude was coming off of an 18-month fat camp, a coke binge, and like attempted suicide issues.
2.5 years of it, yeah. That's right.
Well, officially 18 months of fat camp, 2.5 years of 2.5 years of the cocaine abuse and suicide issues and whatever was going on at home, and his marriage. He even said his marriage was starting to fall apart, which is unbelievable in the gypsy community. And
that's right.
I'll be honest, all credit to Paris for being able to deal with him when he was like that. All credit to her. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure it was hell. I'm sure it was absolutely hell. And this guy comes in, he fights against a dude who's so good they had to name him twice in Sefer Sabiri. And the Albanian cruiserweight, the dancing promoter, the kiss him and you'll miss him, you know what I mean? And Francesco Pinata, or Pianetta, right? But Pinata. So, who got knocked out by Kevin Johnson before that?
That's true.
Right? And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to the Staples Center. I'm going to beat the shit out of Deontay Wilder. And we weren't having it. Where we spotting?
We weren't. Of course we weren't.
But I went over, I supported. And holy shit, mate. He outboxed him. He did it. And then he got a scrupulous decision go against him. Let's just say it like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Scrupulous decision. You can call robbery if you want to. I would appreciate it if somebody in the chat thought it was a robbery. They'd say robbery to reflect my views. But
I'm going to say robbery, so I'm cool with that.
Right. Thank you, Spartan. I concur with Spartan on this one. And yeah, and I wanted them to run it back. But I think it's even worse for Wilder because the fitter Fury gets, the worse it is for me. But then again, Wilder needs to be perfect for one set. All he needs is 1 or 2 knockdowns in the fight and he's getting the draw.
That's true. That is true. I mean, for me, I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. I mean, for me, I've got no interest in Luis Ortiz. Don't need to see it, especially on pay-per-view. Thank God we here in the UK and Ireland. Well, I'm presuming that that's not going to be pay-per-view, right? But if you're
What's not going to be pay-per-view?
Well,
Wilder or
Ortiz.
Oh, mate. Do you know what the funny thing is? They could make that pay-per-view here.
They could, but I'm not too sure what kind of number they'll do.
I think it'd do better numbers than certain fights. And if you want to know why, I'll give you the reason.
Go on.
Wilder's more popular in the UK than he is in America. Not in terms of fans, in terms of hatred. And that boy is too. Look at Floyd.
Yeah.
People in the UK, most of them, some do like Wilder, but a lot don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure people would buy it just to see him lose.
Yeah, you're probably right on that one. Although he's doing a Q&A tour here in the UK soon, next month, in Birmingham. I wonder how that's going to go down.
I'm going to go to that. Where the hell is that? Hold on. Wilder Q&A Birmingham.
There we go. I'll find it for you. I've got it here. Okay. All right, here we go. Right, I've got it. It's on July 27th at the ICC in Birmingham.
Oh, I'm going to have to go to that.
It's hosted by Michelle Joy Phelps.
Oh, pass. I can't listen to her for that long, man. I just can't. No offense, Michelle. I'm sure you're a lovely woman, but I can't. I just can't. It's hard. Are you sure it's not in Birmingham, Alabama?
No. It's definitely Birmingham at the ICC.
ICC Birmingham.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the convention center. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an intimate UK exclusive evening with Deontay Wilder, July 27th. I mean, for me, I don't know about you, but I mean, if I insulted, say, for example, the whole of Ireland and said the whole of Ireland is racist and hate black people, whatever, I think the last thing in the world that I would do is go visit Ireland. But Wilder's, you know, is quite willing to come to the UK after he said that the whole of UK it's in our DNA to be racist. We're all racist.
Yeah.
He's playing a very dangerous game because you know, we do have one or two lunatics who may turn up. That's all I'm going to say. I
Yeah.
won't be one of them, of course, but
I mean, I will be a lunatic who shows up, but like, I'm not going to be. There's a reason I'll go and show up. I want to ask him one specific question. It's a very good question. No.
Okay.
No.
Go on in.
It's just one question. Who's the top four? Who do you, in your opinion, think are the top four people you've beaten in a professional ring?
Well, Luis Ortiz would be the top one for him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if he says Fury, I'm going to say no, you've beaten, so he doesn't count. So Luis Ortiz, I want to see who he says for the other three.
I think he probably said
it's going to be, huh?
I think he said this once before. He said that Duapa, up until the Luis Ortiz fight, he said Duapa was the toughest opponent that he's ever fought because he couldn't get him out of there.
Oh God.
Yeah. Which is worrying, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit worrying. It's definitely a bit worrying.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, Chris.
Well, I mean, either way, hopefully now he sees AJ as weak and very, very beatable. So if, for example, Joshua beats Ruiz in a rematch, he's quite willing to actually take that fight now.
Who have you got in the rematch spot?
Joshua. I think Joshua will make the changes that's needed. But there again, depends where it is because, I mean, you'll know, because you follow like a lot of history, Brits don't travel too well. There's only a very, very select few that do. Tyson Fury being one of them, Joe Calzaghe and what have you. Well, I said before that these people will just walk into somebody else's house, put the kettle on and watch their damn TV without even asking. You know what I mean? These guys are very comfortable being being around like other people. But Joshua could be one of those that don't travel very well.
He very well could be. I think the best Brit on the road ever, by the way, if we like, some people will probably say Lennox Lewis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think it's Bob Fitzsimmons.
Bob Fitzsimmons.
Bob Fitzsimmons is the very first ever three-weight world champion in the history of the sport. And he never fought in England. And he was from the UK. And he never fought in England.
Why is that?
I don't know. He was raised in... I think he moved over to New Zealand when he was a young boy, like the age of 9 or 10. And he picked up world championships at middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. And he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He beat Tom Sharkey and stuff like that and lost to James J. Jeffries. He's beaten guys like Philadelphia, Jack O'Brien and everything like that. I know this won't mean much to most of the chat, but yeah, I think he's the best Brit on the road, considering this guy was an undisputed lineal champion in 3 different weight divisions, all on the road. So fair play.
Yeah. That was going back way, way, way back. How do you know about Bob? I mean, even for Jack Johnson, I mean, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I do study the past stuff. It's important to know where it all started from, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I ever see Tyson Fury, I can explain to him why he's not lineal.
Well, I think it's obvious why it's not lineal, isn't it? Because lineal.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I think lineal is debatable. Does it really exist? As there's no physical title. But at the same time,
let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of the very first ever world title?
The very first one?
The very first one. What was the name of it? And what did it look like? I
have no idea what it looked like. I'm presuming it looked like the Rocky Balboa Ring Magazine belt. I'm presuming. I don't know.
Do you want to know the answer?
Go on.
It was called the World Heavyweight Championship. This is the very first one under Queensberry rules.
Right.
And it didn't exist for the first 6 years of the division, because there was no actual title. John L. Sullivan didn't get that title until 1887, I believe.
So when Tyson Fury talks about how his title goes all the way back to O'Sullivan, then I mean that
No,
lineage
it
has been
doesn't.
broken several times, hasn't it?
Well, I could break the entire lineal line down, but yeah, it's been broken. It's been
Yeah.
broken many times. Like,
Well, are
at
one of the
first
rules?
technic, huh?
But say, I mean, I think that's you'd know more than what I do because I'm pretty sure that I remember looking at it. Although there are no official rules because it's not a sanctioned body, but one of the rules is, say for example, like Lennox Lewis, obviously he retired. So where does the lineal go to? In theory, it
Uh,
should go to the next undisputed champion.
in theory, yes, if that was the history of the sport, but it's not exactly because let's go back a while, yeah. When Marciano retired, well, not Marciano, yeah, when Marciano retired,
Yes.
and Floyd Patterson defeated Archie Moore,
Yeah.
it was only two of the three belts at the time that were on the line: the NBA, the NSAC, and the IBU. The IBU wasn't on the line, but the IBU was still recognized. So those two men fought in a unified championship fight, which reformed lineage, but it
Right.
wasn't an actual undisputed one. So that would disagree with that argument.
Okay.
But here's the reason why. Even I actually believe Klitschko was lineal. People can argue that point with me a million and one times. We can go life and death on it, right?
Yeah.
However, the only thing, because Tyson Fury's come out of retirement, he can claim it. The only thing in the lineal line that would dispute his lineage 100% is he was suspended.
Yes.
Now, Muhammad Ali, his boxing license was suspended.
Yeah.
And then Joe Frazier, he fought against Jimmy Ellis to reform a new lineage, right?
Right.
So, and then Ali ended up coming back and he beat Foreman to get part of that next lineal line, right? But
Right.
Joe Frazier, but when Muhammad Ali was suspended, he was stripped of lineage. So Tyson Fury, he was suspended.
Yeah.
So he is stripped of his lineage. Not due to retirement, but due to suspension, guys.
But yeah, but I mean, retirement also counts, doesn't it?
Well, it depends on how long it's been. I mean, Ali retired in '79, then he actually fought against Larry Holmes, and Larry Holmes was then made the new lineal.
Right.
So it really depends on how you want to look at it.
But there
I
again,
mean, Jeffries retired, but he was still recognized as lineal when he fought against Jack Johnson by most fans.
Okay. I don't know. It's one of those debatable things. I think that a lineal is only really relevant if you believe in lineal. And
Yeah,
in some ways, I mean, people who recognize Tyson Fury as lineal will be because they want to recognize him as lineal.
absolutely. Absolutely. If you recognize Tyson Fury as lineal, it's because you would have had to have recognized Vladimir Klitschko first and foremost. And then you would need to be able to dispute all of the facts of history that show why he would or would not be lineal. And then come to your conclusion. But I think it's because they want to call him lineal, so they're going to call him. Me personally, historically speaking, he's been suspended. He was stripped of lineal. I do believe he won the lineal championship from Klitschko. But once again, as we mentioned earlier, with the drug issue with Hammer, those two fights could have been changed to a no contest. So he might not even have the right to that.
Yeah, that's true. So in theory, then that lineage will go back to Klitschko, then to Joshua, and now to Andy Ruiz.
No, because because it wouldn't go back to Klitschko. Klitschko would have lost it either way because that factually he lost.
Okay, because there's something about lineal is. I think maybe I'm confused with the other word that I can't think. There's a true lineal and a. Oh God, I've forgotten. But
Look,
yeah,
there's well, I tell you what lineal is. Lineal is completely bollocks because nobody knows what it is anymore because too many people have given their opinion on what it should be to where it's become a bastardized system of the origination.
yeah,
That's the honest to God truth.
right.
Because I can go ahead and tell you, like, I can go and create a new lineal line in about an hour and put it up on my page, right? And
Yeah,
start the lineal with Jen Mace as opposed to John L. Sullivan because Mace never lost his bare knuckle championship and John L. Sullivan fought against Jake Kilrain to be considered Queensberry champion when he never lost his bare knuckle world title. You know what I mean? So I
yeah,
could do that. and it would dispute the entire lineal line
Yeah.
and form a completely new one to go down, which would have different. It really just starts on who you believe was the original world champions and all that stuff, and the retirements in between and blah blah blah. It's all nonsense.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. I think that's a lineal. To be honest, I've never heard so much talk about lineal since Tyson Fury came back. To be honest, I don't ever really recall. I mean, yeah, it was mentioned, but it never really talked about before.
Briggs mentioned it when he robbed Foreman.
Yeah, yeah, but I think that I don't know. I mean, for me, I think if you're gonna do lineal, at least create a damn belt for it, or at least put it hand in hand with a Ring magazine, which is how it's supposed to be according to Ring magazine. That they only ever want to award their title to the lineal.
That's interesting because Calm Smith isn't lineal.
No, that's right. It's not. Actually, who is lineal in the middle?
There isn't one.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do about that then, won't they?
It would be. I mean, Andre Ward vacated the lineage when he moved up to light heavyweight.
Yeah.
So.
There again, who awards the lineal, eh? Who starts it again? I'm presuming it's the fans that start it.
What, Ward's lineage?
No, any lineage.
I suppose so. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think most lineal ships that people look at is probably started by Tracy Callis of the IRBO or the IBRO, and he also runs like Cyber Boxing Zone. He's a historian.
Okay.
He kind of keeps track of all that over on those websites.
Bloody hell. That sounds like a tedious job, man. That sounds tedious.
It is. I also keep track of it too. It's very boring.
Bloody hell. All right. Right, let's move on then. Well, give me a couple of predictions for Dubois versus Gorman and Joyce versus Jennings.
Controversial, lads. Are you ready? Gorman. I've got Gorman. People are going to come from my neck. You know, when Gorman has a full camp. Huh?
Yeah. Is that a traveller bias, or you really believe that you
are? Oh, is it the traveller bias? You know, I was on another channel and they said it was because I was a Ricky Hatton fan. I said I was a Ricky Hatton fan when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
And you know me, but you know me, like I tend to give everybody shit and praise. I really do. But it's nothing to do with the traveller bias. I think he's got a full camp, and I don't think Daniel Dubois is a good boxer. I think he's got a suspect chin. He's got power, no feet, and a 1-2. And his jab is very slow. And I think Gorman's got faster hands. He's technically better, and he's got better feet. Dubois could knock him out, but I think it's going to go the full 12, and I think we're going to be calling robbery at the end of it.
Ooh.
That's the honest truth.
Yeah, for me, I think that Dubois will either stop him early doors in the first couple of rounds, if not, and Gorman wins on points. But as you said, it is a Frank Warren show, and as much as both Dubois and Gorman are Warren fighters, Gorman is a recent Frank Warren fighter because he was promoted by Ricky Hatton for a long time. But he's always favoured and said that Dubois is the new Neo. You know, he's going to be the chosen one. So,
I think Dubois should still be in the amateur system.
I agree. Pulled out way too early.
I really do. I know guys are like, well, look how he's doing heavyweight in the program. He was always going to do that with his attributes of the opponents he's fighting against. I think he needed more amateur experience. I would have loved to see him go to the 2020 Olympics and represent Team GB. Yeah.
Well, Frank Warren, you see, he was so desperate to dethrone Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua. He needed his own Joshua and didn't want to risk Dubois going to Eddie Hearn, so paid him a shitload of money to turn pro.
Yeah, and he's a young lad. You get offered $100,000 for your very first ever fight when the most you've ever seen is £7.50 at Tesco. You're gonna snap that. You're gonna snap snap the hands off of me. You know what I mean?
Of course. I mean, for me, I like both fighters, and hopefully they both go on to have great careers. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be writing off the loser, whoever it may be. But for me, I won't be writing off either one of them. I think they're still young enough. I mean, Gorman's 22, Dubois 21. So whatever happens, happens. So, and what
Yeah.
about Joyce Jennings?
Interesting fight. I think Joyce has a bit too much for Jennings now. Jennings coming off of a knockout loss. He's got that really long reach, that like 84-inch reach. Good job. He can box. He'll make it awkward for Joyce. It's definitely the best fight of his career, but I think Joyce stops him mid to late rounds.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just too relentless. Eventually, it's going to be too much, and Joyce's gas tank is massive.
It is. It is. But do you think that Joyce is as slow as many of us believe that he is?
No, I don't think he's that slow. I mean,
Because
when
if he was
people are
that
like,
slow,
"Oh,
he wouldn't be able to land, would he?
huh?"
I mean, if he was as slow as what people say, he wouldn't be able to land, would he?
Well,
His
do you
opponents would
think
get away.
Do you think Dave Allen is slow?
Mm,
I don't think he's slow. I
no,
think Allen's kind of quick.
he
Look at him
can be.
against Brown. He's got kind of fast hands.
Yeah.
Dave Allen was slower than Lenroy Thomas, and Joe
True.
Joyce was 3 times faster than Lenroy Thomas.
That's
Joyce
true.
looks slow when he's loading up. Okay, when he's not, because he is loading up completely. But any guy who weighs 245 pounds is loading up. It's going to look slow to you because
True.
9 times out of 10 you're smaller than that.
Yeah.
So, and
That's
you
true.
can say, "Oh, look at me flick out my jab. It's faster than Joe Joyce can throw a power punch from the back of his shoulder." Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's
But by
true.
the time you throw that out and you hit him, are you going to be able to get out of the way of that? That's the thing. And is it slow at heavyweight level? It's slower than like the fast guys, like Parker and everything. But
Yeah.
it's not. Is he slower than Dubois?
That's a good
Is
question.
he? Maybe a little bit. Is Dubois really slow? No. Look at him against Johnson. I mean,
Yeah.
but he's really thudding. You know.
That's
So,
right. My only worry for
and he's so
Joyce.
relentless.
Oh, he is, but I mean, my only worry for Joyce is that he's there to be hit, or at least has been. I know that now he's with Adam Booth, which maybe he may tighten up his guard a bit, but I think maybe he spent a bit too long in the amateurs, so he can't get rid of that amateur way.
I think he's thrown caution to the wind with his amateur way, mate. He used to have that tight guard up, pop out the jab, and go out the 1-2, right? Now he's just coming forward, throwing twos and twos and twos and ones and uppercuts. That's gone. I'm
Yeah.
seeing no amateur boxing from him, mate. I'm just seeing a guy who's trying to pole drive opponents. He looks like Brock Lesnar gone mad. I don't enjoy it. It's really ugly to watch, but it's not an amateur style. Amateurs are way more refined than Joe Joyce. Way more.
Oh, because I was watching him against I forget who it was in the World Boxing Series.
Yeah, the World Series of Boxing.
That's the one. That's the one. I forget who it was that he's fighting. It wasn't Usyk, but it was somebody else, and he just looked exactly like he does now. I'm like, your style hasn't changed whatsoever. So I don't know.
No. But watch him against
Again,
Lenroy Thomas and watch him against Usyk.
yeah,
I mean, when he fought Ian Lewison in the beginning and like Richard Towers or whatever his name is, big
yeah,
tall guy.
yeah.
Yeah, his style didn't change. Watch him
Yeah.
recently. Watch him against Deverne and watch him in the World Series of Boxing. Watch him against Lenroy and watch him in the World Series. You'll see that he's throwing caution to the wind now, mate. It's that amateur style's going, and he's developing his own aggressive, come forward, pulverizing style, and it's interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
You know, I don't know whether or not I like his manager or I don't. You know, Sam Jones.
I love him. I absolutely
Yeah.
fucking love him, mate. Do you know why? He's a right little mouthpiece, isn't he?
He is. He's one of those guys you just want to grab hold of by the neck, but that's good because it gets people talking. You know. Yeah.
Like I always look like do you know who a lot of people hate, but I love more than nearly every manager ever? Tundi Ajoy.
Oh God, no.
You don't like him, but do you know why I love him? I
Go
love
on.
him because of your reaction just there. Oh God, no!
Yeah.
Brilliant, mate. That's brilliant. He gets under the skin. More people give a shit. More people rage at Tundi Ajoy than rage at Yard or Warren over the situation, and he just laughs at it.
Yeah. Well, I wonder who's hated more, Tunde Ajayi or Chris Eubank Sr. I wonder who's disliked the most. I think probably right now, probably Tunde.
I love them both.
Yeah.
Senior's a brilliant with his sartorial elegance.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that like Sam Jones. I mean, I think they put him on the stage on purpose because he gets a reaction. Because let's be
Oh,
honest, Joe
absolutely.
Joyce. I mean, Joe Joyce. He's at times it's like he's punch drunk already. I don't think he
Punch
is.
drunk.
Well, I don't think he is punch drunk, but it's just the way that he is. It's almost like he doesn't really want to be there, or sometimes his brain stops working for a few seconds. So he needs like
Right.
Sam Jones to do all the speaking for him.
You know, Joe Joyce reminds me of this spot. Yeah. We all have a mate, right?
Yeah.
We've gone out clubbing with a group of us, and you'll wingman for him.
Yeah.
And then you'll finally get the girl to say, yeah, I'll have a drink with him or talk with him or whatever. And you bring him over, and she's like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, hello. And she's just like, so what's up?
Yeah.
My name's Ben. You know what I mean? He's that
good, plain Jane, boring. Yeah.
And I don't think that's his natural personality. I think it's when the camera's on him, he shuts off when he has to think.
Yeah.
And it's the same way when you bring a guy who could be amazing around all the lads, you bring him up to a woman and he's like, Ben, apples are good. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Maybe he's got like a self-conscious thing. I don't know. Especially today with like today's social media, everything you do and say gets criticised. So I suppose in his mind, maybe it's a case of the less I say, the less I'm going to get criticised.
And it doesn't help that every time he goes onto a video, us fans, we criticise him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We're like, oh, he's got the personality of a raisin. You know what I mean?
I haven't heard that one before, but yeah, it's a good comparison.
I've seen it a couple of times on Facebook.
Yeah. I'll tell you some of the things that I hate, as we're on about like social media things. For me, I cannot stand it, and I don't understand it when people insult Adam Smith the way that they do. It's underhanded. I find it so underhanded. If you don't like someone, but I mean, to blatantly call somebody a paedophile, and where's Madeline McCann? I'm like, come on, man.
I'm sorry.
He's got kids,
Oh, mate, Lord help them.
Yeah.
That's not. Yeah, but like in the honest scheme of things, I think people just find it funny.
Yeah.
I'd say it probably does upset the man, but people don't give a shit. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and say I haven't done anything like that. I've said somebody needs to go check his computer pronto. I've said it. I've said it on a live stream. It's on record. I'm not going to act like I haven't said these things.
Yeah.
But I do it in humor.
Yeah, of course.
No real malice, but some people actually believe it. And
they do, yeah. I mean,
just based on his appearance. That's
what I was about to say. Yeah, go on.
Some of these people probably look more sussy than Adam Smith.
Yeah.
Like me.
Right.
I look more sussy than Adam Smith, mate.
The thing is, because Adam Smith, he sits there and he's got that gormless look at times. I mean, he does, but I mean, he's got a face for radio, hasn't he? Which is probably why he does commentary. But the thing is that I mean, he does have that look, and he does pull like silly little faces. And I mean, I did have to laugh once. There was somebody at the weigh-in; he had to strip down naked or something to make the weight.
I'm sorry.
Do you know what it is I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
And Adam Smith just happened to, just glance as you do. It catches you in like the corner of your eye. Somebody's got.
But he raised his eyebrows, Spartan. He raised his eyebrows, man. He was like, "Ooh."
Poor guy. I feel sorry for him. I really do. I feel bad for him. But
and being honest, he does get a bit biased, a bit at Sky. Not calling the right shots for the other opponents, but that's part of their marketing procedure. But in terms of actual action and stuff, he's a hell of a commentator when it gets going. He really is. He's a brilliant voice.
Isn't he? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. His voice don't suit him, does it?
When I first heard his voice and then I saw him, I'm like, you what?
Exactly.
I'm like, nah. Because it looks like I have his voice, right? And he has my voice because I'm a big gruff looking motherfucker, right?
Right.
And I sound like a 17-year-old who's gone a bit too far on the coke for a few weeks. Whereas Smith, he should have my voice, and I should have his.
No. Okay, you've disappointed me now. Are you not 17 on a coke binge? I thought you were. What's going on?
No. 26 on a coke binge. 26 on a coke binge.
Oh, that's a bit better then.
Yeah. You know, just line them up, I'll knock them down.
That's the one. Yeah. I know. I do feel bad for him. It's like every time he does an interview or whatever it is, he's up on the stage and you just see it in the live comments and you think, are Sky Sports not watching their live feed? You know, I'll be timing people out. You know what I mean?
But they don't time it out at all. That's the funny thing. But you'll say something else about somebody else and you can get timed out. I seen someone have a go at her in the Sky thing before, right?
Right.
About like the race, about Barry with the supposed racism comments with the slave master things and everything, right?
Yeah.
And someone said that, boom, timed out. Next comment up, it was literally like, yo, somebody search that man's pockets, we'll get the key and free Madeline. I'm like, whoa. Right? About Adam Smith. Then it starts like 100 comments of Adam Smith, yeah?
Yeah.
Nothing. No one timed out at all.
Amazing, maybe behind the scenes,
That's a little bit wrong.
Maybe behind the scenes, he's a bit of a tyrant, you know. And maybe whoever controls the live stream is going, "Yep, go on, crack on."
Maybe he is. Maybe he is.
Yeah. Oh. Right, so let's move on to the WBC. So, I don't know whether or not you've seen that interview with Mauricio Sullivan. He had that
bollocks.
Do you watch
There's
it?
Your answer. It's bollocks.
Yeah.
That man wanting to unify the bollocks.
Yeah. My real criticism of it was, so he had a meeting with the WBA president at Gilberto Mendoza recently about potentially having Wilder versus Ruiz for undisputed. My real criticism of that was, well, where was that energy when Joshua was champion?
It didn't exist because there wasn't a Mexican involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
The cartels have gotten on his back and they're like, yo, let's make undisputed. You feel me?
Yeah, of course. I think it's a case of as much as he likes Wilder and doesn't want him to lose, if Wilder is going to lose, he's happy for it to be Andy Ruiz because of the Mexican thing.
Or maybe they don't think he'll lose to Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, I mean, he's happy if Wilder wins, but also happy if Ruiz wins too. So
probably. I mean, if they do it at heavyweight, I want to see it across the board in all divisions. Yeah,
that's what I mean. That's what he was talking about. He was having he called a meeting for the WBA, IBF, and WBO to meet up and have a meeting about forcing all their champions into a tournament style to become undisputed.
But do you know what that might be about? In all honesty, the World Boxing Super Series spot. Yeah, you seen his comments to do with the World Boxing Super Series. Remember?
Yeah, I still don't fully understand what it is that he's talking about, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's looking for a way to rope out with that so that they can get to tournaments as opposed to the World Boxing Super Series, so they can make extra money.
That is true. They do like money, don't they? The WBC.
We all like money.
We do, but they do especially. I mean, I've never known an organisation to make so many trinket belts. You know, diamond belts, silver belts, pearl belts, and Cinco de Mayo, and I'm like, what's the point of all this?
What about this? What about this? What about this? Super belt, regular belt, interim belt, intercontinental belt, intercontinental Asia belt, intercontinental European belt, gold belt, silver belt.
There's way too many to point, isn't it?
That's the WBA. You know what I mean? WBA have 3 world champions, bro.
Yeah, they do. And the WBO, they have several European champions, don't they? So.
The EBU as well, they have 2 world champions. 3.
EBU, yeah.
Because they've got the external, the internal, and the regular, like the actual champion.
Yeah.
Well, you see, they'll put out a super as well.
I know, there's way too many bloody titles. I mean, for me, I don't mind there being, say, a silver title For example, so silver champion, you know that's the mandatory. But if you're going to create an interim title and then a diamond championship and a pearl championship, I'm like, I give up. I don't know who's who and what relevance any of them have.
That's exactly
But,
the problem. The truth of it is, we follow boxing. We look up on it constantly, right?
mm-hmm.
By proxy, you learn a lot about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I will
Cool.
give anybody in this chat a big round of applause. Anybody, if they can tell me the meaning of every WBC belt. So the diamond, the silver, the interim, the pearl, the gold championship, and the intercontinental in terms of the ranking points. If you can do that, fair play, because it's not specified any source anywhere for all of them. Some, yes, but not all of them.
Well, just to back that up, when Mauricio Sullivan was asked about the diamond, even he was fumbling when he was doing that Q&A thing with the press. Even he was fumbling. It's almost like he didn't quite know what to do about the diamond belt either. As to what it was, he understood the conception of it, but what it means now, I was getting the impression he didn't even know, or what the silver title means anymore. It's all about money.
Yep.
But I mean, for me, I'm cool if they can force the champions into unifying, but will they do it? Nah, I don't think so.
Nah, but if they do it, look, more power to them. It's just don't say that you don't believe in the credibility of a tournament because you want to start one. Just say you're going to start a tournament and get all of the other belts to do an undisputed tournament. Do that.
Yeah, that's right. But you know, I find well though, there'll be a catch-22 at the very end of it, because whoever wins these tournaments throughout all the weight divisions, they'll be given a super title. Then the rest of the belts will probably be disbanded. Then other people then go after them belts to create more world champions, and it'll be a huge mess again.
Highly probable.
Yeah.
Highly probable. Eventually, what we're going to see is the superlineal undisputed galactic champion of the Rainbow Division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to see that one day.
Of course we are, yeah.
And if we're not, our kids might. Or our kids, kids. Or, you know.
Exactly. A big tournament throughout the Milky Way.
Oh my God. I can't wait for the Martians to come down and absolutely smash us.
Give it time. Give it time.
I just want to answer a question from the chat. I think it was Ricky Ellis. He asked Mike McGregor who was on the MCR show a while ago. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that Miss Combat Radio?
Yeah. Man Rob.
Top channel. Okay, so last subject, because we've been on for an hour and a half now. Right, MTK Global. Now, I didn't know too much about them. I'd heard about them, but I never looked into them until probably a few days ago. Hence my video today. Right. And for a long time, obviously with you knowing a fair bit about your history, you'll know plenty of corruption stories, that's for sure. And even now, there's still boxing corruption. Listen, you know, where there's money, there's corruption. It just is what it is. But what I'm seeing from MTK is that they have a system within their management company that many others don't have, which is they pretty much unionize their fighters.
Okay.
Which for me is a good thing. I mean, my history is pretty much arguing with unions, transport unions, and all that kind of thing. So I know what fuckers that these people are. So as far as the fight is concerned, it's good that there is a company out there. I'm sure there's more, but with the MTK, that these guys are actually there to look after fighters. What's your impression of MTK?
I like them. I do have a little bit of a bias against them for one thing and one thing only. The ban they put on Irish media because of the shooting that happened at the weigh-in in Ireland, and they were associated with gangland crime, MTK, for a while. That's just what happened, and they put a ban. They put a ban on Irish media like RTE, etc., and the Irish Sun and everything from reporting on it because they were saying that MTK is run by gangsters and all this stuff, right? And originally they were funded by someone who was associated with gangs in the Republic of Ireland. That's true. But they've gotten rid of all of that, and since then they've started to, like you said yourself, the unions to protect the fighters and the rights of the fighters in terms of insurance and policies, health and drug situations, which is very, very good because we haven't seen anything like that in boxing since the origination with Tex Rickard going back to the 20s, and that was kind of like bastardized going through the 50s with the mafia, the 40s and 50s with the Italian mafia, and the 30s like through Primo Carnera, through Rocky Marciano, and fighters being told to fight on a week's notice without any insurance policies while their fighters had them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we're seeing a really big change now. A really big change with MTK, and I want to see other promotional outfits and management groups follow suit with the in terms of protection. And I mean, from what I know as well, like I don't want to big up Al Heyman for a lot of things sometimes, but he actually has all of the PBC fighters. He insures them through PBC. So all of their insurance, hospital bills, etc., are paid for via the PBC, from what I understand. So that is part of the management contract for the fighters specifically.
Yeah.
That is a very good thing. And MTK are kind of in the same bracket, but they've got a union as well. I don't know which union it is. Have you looked to see what union they're a part of?
No, I haven't. I've seen that they not only guide their careers as prospects, but any legalities they will take care of it. That's all I know about it. So, I'm presuming it's a form of union. I'm just presuming.
Yeah. So it's good.
No, it's good because I mean, when you look at some of the shows that these guys have on as well, to be honest, they're rivaling, if not better, sometimes than the Matchroom and Queensbury ones.
I'll be honest with you. Right now, outside of the main pay-per-views and the top tier fights, the best cards that have happened this year in the UK have all been the MTK cards. They're doing bits. The cards are the fights. A lot of them are competitive, mate. We're seeing guys prove their stripes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
They're not having very easy fights. They're not. Like on the undercard, we're seeing guys who are 6-1 fighting guys who are 6-1. It's not like guys who are 6-1 fighting against guys who are 14,902.
Yeah. No, that's true.
It's true. Yeah, it really is. We're seeing guys actually, fight as opposed to padding records to build names. What they're doing is they're building fighters as opposed to names, and I like that, and I respect it as a boxing fan because one, I'm sitting down, bored out of my mind on a Friday night or a Saturday, with nothing to do. Maybe there's a pay-per-view card on that I decided I wasn't really interested in, and I can just sit down, hang out, turn on YouTube, and I'm able to watch a solid card with mid-level to upper-tier British prospects and British opponents fight against each other.
Yeah.
And that's a very good thing for the sport over here. Definitely. Because we're seeing the viewers keep escalating every week. Like a few weeks ago, we seen 2,000, and this week we had 10,000 viewers live. You know what I mean? Watching. Yeah. And that's a really good thing. I can only give my hats off to it, and I believe over the next few years we may see MTK go to a big network.
They've just joined up with ESPN, haven't they, in America?
Yeah, they are part of that now. The card that was shown here with Ryan Burnett, that was on ESPN Plus.
Mm-hmm.
That was at Foley Park. Yeah. So, yeah. They're doing bits, man.
Well, they are. I mean, that's the thing, because not only are they doing all that and they're guiding their careers and sorting out sponsorships for fighters as well, as you said, they're putting on shows. So a lot of them, for example, Martin Murray, Rocky Fielding, Jazza Dickens, while these guys are signed to the bigger promoters, Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, they're not always getting TV time, like Jose Alberto, for example, as well. But MTK will then put them on their show. They may not be getting paid a lot of money, but some money's better than no money, because when you sat on the sidelines, you ain't getting paid, are you? So for me, what these guys are doing is absolutely phenomenal.
I love it. I really do.
Yeah.
I just, and like I don't want to promote any of your rivals, but the guys over at IFL are doing bits with that as well because they've been with
Oh,
MTK for a very long time.
no, they are. No, they are. They're doing absolutely fantastic. Like Coogan and that. James Held and that. Obviously before he left. I still don't know why he left, but
That doesn't matter.
yeah.
Let's not talk James Helder before we know it. We'll have more Adam Smith comments.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think he's got his own football show now, anyway. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the IFL doing an absolutely fantastic job. And as I said, I mean, to be honest, if it wasn't really for IFL, I probably wouldn't have even heard of MTK. To be fair.
You might, maybe not, man. All of us know, like, originally it was MGM Marbella.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then they changed it to MTK Global. I don't know.
Yeah. I have no idea what Mac the Knife is, but
Mac is like what they call like guys who are called like either with like a last name with Mac in it, like Macklin McGregor or anything like that, right? And it's based off of a song, like the song Mac the Knife.
Okay.
Or like when Tyson Fury did the whole return of the Mac, you know?
Okay. I thought maybe it was something to do with like their founder. That
It's an Irish thing. It's an Irish thing
Matthew
that we
Macklin
do.
or something. Okay.
Nah, it's an Irish thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, yeah, he has the last name Mac in his name. So Mac the Knife, it's a play on words.
Well, either way, big up to them, and of course, any other companies out there who are literally not just doing it just to make a few quid. Because I mean, as I said in my video earlier on, which I do feel I was rambling that one. So anybody who managed to get through the whole 20 minutes, big up. But it's a case of I feel there's too many fighters who I speak to quite a lot, and it's always their management team who are trying to convince them to turn into journeymen, because journeymen obviously they fight more regularly, which means more income. But many of these young lads, they want to at least give it a go before they turn into a journeyman. So if they're no good, obviously they turn into a journeyman, right? But there's too many managers out there who are taking 25% to, let's be honest, doing absolutely fuck all.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, which is why I like MTK, because of these guys, at least from the outside, appear that they're doing the right thing. So anyway,
from the outside, yeah, but we'll see what happens as years transpire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if they get like an exclusive Sky Sports and take over Matchroom, then maybe we're going to start seeing some different sides to them. I don't know, maybe some arrogance will start coming out or whatever. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and
That'd
see.
be funny.
Yeah, yeah. Although if Sky do bin up Eddie Hearn, it won't be long before DAZN invades UK, will it?
I don't think we'll see DAZN in the UK.
You don't?
No.
Mm.
But I tell you the main reason why.
Go on.
You will not be a success in the United Kingdom without Premier League football and Champions League football. You will not beat Sky. You can go in with your billion budget. You ain't beating Sky, and you ain't beating BT with the Premier League investment.
That is true. But there again, I mean, for what, 10 quid a month? I'm quite happy to pay for it just for boxing,
Yep. I mean, I would too. But that's the thing.
But how many boxing
not
fans
a big
are there?
enough sport. Yeah, it's not. It is a big sport, but it's not as big of. It's not a massive enough sport for them to come in with like £1 billion to take over the UK market.
No,
it isn't. They need Premier League football.
You're probably right. Who knows? Maybe they'll get it. I mean, if they've got the money, if their owner or whatever the damn his name is, I forget. Is he Israeli originally? I think.
Are you talking about Leonard Blavatnik?
That's him. Is he worth like 11.4 billion or something like that? Whatever it is.
DAZN is no longer a part. DAZN is no longer part of the Perform Group, bro.
Yeah, you're right. They're not, are they?
No, so they're no longer funded by Leonard Blavatnik.
Oh, okay.
So the money that they have, etc., from being a business itself, is part of their investment. So they're reinvesting the money now. Maybe if they become a massive success in the United States, they can come in and try to dominate the UK market. They can.
Yeah.
But good luck.
I think for them to
And
do that,
they won't do that until the Premier League goes up for bid again, because BT and Sky have that for like 6 years, the contracts on
yeah.
that and the Champions League. So I think that's another 4 years to go.
But yeah.
So
Either way, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what MTK do. Will they end up going on Sky at some point? That'd be interesting. I mean, as much as IFL are doing a good job streaming their stuff, I wouldn't have thought that would be the long-term plan.
I don't think it'll be the long-term plan for them, but I'd like to see them get the full Box Nation contract.
Good shout, actually, yeah, because there's some people actually still pay for that.
Yeah, like me.
Really?
Give me some content, mate. Yeah. I haven't cancelled the subscription.
I think it was worth the money when Frank Warren was actually putting his fighters on the cards, but I don't know. I'm not really interested in watching or paying £10 a month to watch some obscure fights for fighters that I've never heard of or have no interest in.
I get nearly all the BT cards in a weird way, but I already have BT because of UFC and football.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else you want to add before we close this one down?
Not really, mate. Just appreciate you having me on. Been a pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
No problem. Everyone in the chat, make sure that you go to Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News channel. Give him a sub if you wouldn't mind so much.
I would
him with
appreciate
comments.
it. Bombard me with all comments. Tell me what you think of me. Tell me you hate me. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. And you do some regular live streams as well for everyone to join in with.
Yeah, I do streams all the time. I regularly interact with the viewers. And also, if you do come over, you'll be helping me win a bet with a mate of 10 quid. Be much appreciated, because we don't want him funding his cocaine addiction.
Right. Okay, what's that about? You'll have to say what that's about.
All right. So
are you on
me
about
and
who I
Del
think
Boy.
you're on about? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Del Boy. Yeah,
yeah.
we have a £10 bet. So I have to get to 500 before he gets to 2K.
Okay. Del Boy, he's on what, 1800 and something? And you're
He's
on 300 and
1800.
something?
Yeah. This started
so it's like a 200 difference then.
Yeah, we're both right. We both need to get to the first one who gets 200 from now wins, pretty much.
Right.
But I've bridged the gap in terms of where originally started from, because he needed 260 and I needed 295. Now I need 195 and he needs 180. So I've bridged the gap.
No, actually, you need 189 now.
Beautiful.
Actually, let me put your link in. Okay, you've just done it. Okay, cool. I was just about to do it myself then. Put the link in the
they might
chat.
listen to you more than me.
Yeah. Well, actually, tell them about the competition that you were talking about.
Yeah, I'm going to do a trivia contest.
That's the one.
So if you want to learn more about boxing, just come over and watch it. I'm getting different channels. And I believe Mr. Spartan himself has said he might be interested in doing it. Going to be giving out a prize fund. It's going to be boxing trivia on all different aspects of boxing, from now all the way back, pretty much. People are going to go 1v1 in a knockout competition. Winner's going to get 60 quid. Second place will get 30. And third place will get a 10. And if Spartan wins it, if Spartan does win it, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll give him the 60 quid. And on top of which, I'll do a £60 donation to the charity. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not going to win it, because when it comes to history, I'm absolutely gash anything pre-80s. So I'll probably end up winning a toilet brush, the booby prize.
Maybe. But yeah, it'll be good fun. People will enjoy it. And it's not just pure history, mate. It's just, look, boxing's an in-depth sport, isn't it? It's boxing trivia.
That's true. Just random questions.
Yeah, it could be anything. Like, here's a question, right? Spartan will get this. Who was Anthony Joshua's first world title defense against?
Yeah.
Well?
It's a Dominic Brazil.
Oh, Dominic Brazil. Yeah. And then there's a question like, this is actually down here. I'll have to get rid of it if anybody listens to this. but I'll get rid of it. Who
Yeah.
refereed the world title fight in 1904 between Dixie Kid and Barbados Joe Walcott when Dixie Kid won via disqualification and it was later ruled as a no contest due to match fixing from the referee? I know you have no idea.
I haven't got the first clue what you're talking about.
Exactly. So it's a lot of stuff like that.
But yeah. All right. So basically, what you're doing is you're saying that everyone should start reading up on Wikipedia and BoxRec and ingest that before you end up going on to the damn competition.
That's not on Wikipedia.
Oh, is it not?
Go to just BoxRec. Do some research on BoxRec Wikipedia if you're in the competition, and look at like heavyweights, welterweights. Look at lineal lines, and just kind of get an idea for them. And you should be able to stand yourself in good stead.
Oh, sweet. So as I said, everyone in the chat, if you guys click on to Unrival's link on there, it won't take you out of the chat. Just click on it and just click subscribe, and it'll all be good. Okay, then.
That'd be bang on.
Awesome. Right, so we're going to close this down, and I'll go have a drink or something, and then we'll go find another YouTuber, whoever's about. Maybe actually it's
Nice
10 o'clock. I don't know. Okay, buddy, you take care now. Thanks very much for joining.
Thanks a million, mate. Pleasure.
All right, buddy, you take care now. Peace.